Welcome everybody to our first international New Wave event, and welcome to those that are here live in the audience from all over the US and around the world, and also to those that are joining us live or even just watching the recording. It's been really thrilling to get correspondence from people in Italy and India and the different communities who are just really looking forward to connecting with each other. So it's going to be an experimental, fun weekend, and with that being said, let's start with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, beloved God, Great Masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, and our beloved Guru, Paramahansa Yoganandaji. We humbly bow at your feet. Beloved Master, beloved Swami, merge your consciousness with us now. Uplift us in thy vibration. Guide our thoughts and actions. Guide our outreach. Help us to attune to you deeply, so we may awaken thy love in all people. Om. Peace. Amen. And let's begin with the choir.
So we'd like to offer two of Swami Kriyananda's songs this evening, Come Gather Round and Nightingale.
Come gather round, let joy sing out today. Dawn now is breaking, and the mountains say, it's only light can make the darkness run. Lift up your head, greet the rising sun. Greet the rising sun. Some people think to harvest happiness by weeding troubles, easing every stress. The trouble is that troubles never end. Get rid of one and you face its friend. And you face its friend. It's in your heart, the songs of joy resound. You'll hear but echoes in the world around. Wind on a hill sounds lonely if you're sad, free if you're free, cheerful if you're glad. Cheerful if you're glad. Friends, come with me. We'll chant of battles won, shouts not of anger. Joy will be our gun. Before the light, the veils of sorrow rend. In inner freedom, all delusions end. All delusions end.
Nightingale, nightingale, sing of joy through the night.
joy through the night. Teach all men how to spin clouds of gloom into light. Without silence, what is song? Without night, where is dawn? Were it not for men's woes, who would smile at a rose? Nightingale, nightingale, sing of joy through the night. Let each tone silence groan, earth and heaven unite. Morning laughter, evening tears, snow and blossoms, all fade. Joy must sing in the night to face change unafraid. Nightingale, nightingale, nightingale.
So welcome everybody again. I just wanted to say my name is Sanjan. I live at Ananda Village and I've been here for just over a year and a half. And I work for Online with Ananda. And we have been presenting the Ananda leadership courses. And over the weeks that we've been doing that, I've been seeing these very experienced Nayaswamis coming in and being nervous as anything, live broadcasting. So I'm kind of getting into their shoes a little bit and understanding where they're coming from. But I just wanted to let you know that I think Swami Kriyananda would be very pleased that we are connecting, and I know that he's here with us this evening. He has been giving the younger people of Ananda and all people of Ananda lots of energy. And we have a great lineup over the weekend, and I'll just speak very briefly about that. You do have some brochures and handouts. What I will say is that tomorrow morning there will be a live broadcast with Jyotish and Devi leading a meditation. So I think it's probably the first time we've done a live broadcast of a meditation with them leading it. So that's 90 minutes in the morning. And then we'll have an hour break, and then we will have a talk by Jyotish and Devi. And then we have something a little bit experimental at the end of that talk, and they will be giving out a blessing that will be transmitted online and within the group. It won't be where we go up individually. It will be seeing how that works out. So once again, we're kind of trying something new here. And then we'll be hearing from people from all over the world, India and Italy and the US. And Italy's trying to tune in. It's taken a while for them to connect with us. They're typical Italian style. They may show up, and they may show up en masse in Google Hangout tomorrow. So I'll just pre-warn to the to the international presenters, you may be suddenly bombarded by these Italians tomorrow, and we just be prepared. So what I just wanted to say, each person that's going to speak this evening is going to speak about a various aspect of outreach that they are passionate about, that projects that they're involved in. And so we'll have about 5 to 10 minutes each, and we'll see how that flow goes. I'm just giving a basic introduction and talking about the area of outreach that I've been working with here in the village with the people, our young people, many Guru Bhais. But first I wanted to mention that just really, I'll kind of join it together, that the area that I have kind of picked up on is just organising some satsangs with Jyotish and Devi here at the village. And the thought was that after Swami passed away, that He had told us last year, and I'm sure throughout time, that basically the young people would take, that's us, would take the work out across the world. And Nariani and Sergio, we will watch a video of them tomorrow. They touch on this again. So really, when he passed away, one of the most important things that I found on this path, and I think is true for all of us, is just our deepening attunement to Swami, to Master, and that the one way to do that is to really be around those that have been on this path for a long time. We have a great wealth of Naya Swamis here in Ananda village, and it is just one way to really create that attunement and to raise our vibration just by being with them. That the satsangs that we've chosen to have throughout the village are based at this moment on outreach, but actually it's more about spending that time with them. It's more about attuning to people that have built this village and this worldwide organization from nothing, and have been with Swami Kriyananda, and have something vibrationally to offer us very, very powerfully that I think is important to really experience and tune into. And we've kind of picked up on the thread of it being about outreach so that we can kind of find the inspiration for us to outreach. But at the same time, what's also true is that we're in a very different world. So from when they first started out, we can connect online. We are instantly in contact with each other in ways that they never had. So that vibrational contact with them is what we are tuning into to share that, but it's really, we also have to find our own way in which we want to share these teachings and to be creative and to go out. One of the things, I've just been very kindly given this bangle from the people here at the village, and afterwards someone came up to me and they said that, and I'd heard this story before, but they said that, I think it was Rama, I'm not sure who, I can't remember the name right now, but someone had been testing with kind of, you know, where you test with the dowsing and how the energy body kind of expands out, and the bangle can basically expand out through the room, and they've tested certain ways in which our energy kind of grows or contracts, and that one of the ways that it contracts is if we say to someone, I don't, you know, what you're wearing looks ridiculous, and they tested this, and our aura kind of contracts. And then another one is work with the bangle, and just working with meditation and kriya. These are kind of ways that expand our aura and our energy. And actually, what is interesting is that we as individuals have one set of energy, and that our aura can grow or contract through our practices and what we're doing. But when we gather together, our aura and our energy can really grow and contract in a way that is multiplied beyond our real recognition. So this is something that Swami was saying when he wanted us to connect globally, that although in the village to us now is not, the Ananda village is not here in this physical place, but our village is the world, and that we can connect through this means of connecting through our blog and our website and through the classes that we offer each other, and kind of just feeling, staying in contact with each other. So Kalamali is going to speak about that this evening, and we hope to connect with regular meditations globally. We hope to really, the weekend is about inspiring each other with our ideas, with our creativity, and it's really about just sharing each other's space and getting to know each other in a very deep way. So when these people present these outreach ideas, you may have something to input over to them over the weekend and beyond, but you may also have an idea. You may also have an idea that is sparked for you. So the point of the weekend is really to draw inspiration to each other and uplift each other, so we can kind of grow together. We are different communities and cultures, Italian, Indian, all over the globe, but we do have something, and that is master and attunement to this ray. And this weekend is really about just sharing the different aspects of what we do to uplift and connect. Okay, so I'm going to pass it over to Rose, and she's going to talk about her area of outreach. Many blessings.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Rose, and just feel really blessed to be here with these friends from near and far. And I also feel really blessed and excited to be a part of this new form of outreach. I'm helping at this point to create mentorships, outreach opportunities for our generation, and let's call it Ananda for the Future seems to be our new name of this week, our new wave. And not even specific to this age group, but people who are relatively new to the path, and the next step of their development would be to share, because in giving we receive, and when we begin to start to share, we even more deeply understand what we have and the beauty of what we've been given. And so we're at Ananda Village. The Expanding Light has a plethora of brilliant, wonderful teachers who've been teaching for years. And so what me and others are helping to do is creating, those who want to start learning and teaching and sharing, working with those who have been doing it for years, so that when the time is ripe, it's an easy transition. And also we'll be working with outreach around the movie Finding Happiness. If you haven't seen it yet, it's truly beautiful and deeply inspiring. And we just had a meeting today about bringing this film out to college campuses, and in doing so, drawing on this age group as well, and inviting people back to the Expanding Light and having happiness programs. And it's just thrilling that we can find ever new ways to share, ways to live in joy and bliss with each other. So in your own community, maybe there's a way to begin small mentorships and see who wants to share, who wants to teach, and begin the process of learning that skill in little ways. We've also started just group meditations, regularly meditating together. It seems that this group of us that have come here in the last few years of this age group will probably be serving together for the rest of our lives. So deepening our practice of communing on a soul level and strengthening that connection. And there will be other ways, I think, that this will build as we begin to create more outreach opportunities. More will come from that, and people can really take initiative with what they want to share and create programs that inspire them and take that out. So I encourage you to do that wherever you are, and many, many blessings.
Hi, everybody. It's really good to see everybody here. It's kind of amazing to see how huge this group is. It's really powerful because we just have such an amazing opportunity ahead of ourselves. We're all here at this moment in time where it's kind of pivotal, really. Like, not only is the Finding Happiness movie coming out, and we're all going to be a part of that experience for the world that sees this movie, that just talks about the pursuit of joy and how to actually find happiness in this life. And there's going to be so many people wanting to be a part of this movement. And not only is it an opportunity for us to all start to get prepared for what that's going to be like when we start to take on new roles of leadership and outreach, but also how we make those connections with those people when they come to us. So it's it's not only a matter of becoming a bridge for the teachings, becoming a bridge for Master, becoming a bridge for how to find happiness. It's also making those connections on a personal level with each soul. So I do work in marketing online. I live here at Ananda Village. My name is Kalamali, by the way. I kind of got it a little bit enthusiastic and forgot to mention my name. But it's not important, right? So here I work on the Finding Happiness movie, online marketing, and also I have a personal blog. It's kind of just about the spiritual teachings of Master and Swami and bringing them out in a way that more people can kind of engage with and understand where they're at. So these things are part of what I hope to offer throughout this weekend, engaging with each of you, anyone who is interested in learning more about how online marketing really works, and also how to make the connection with people from all different backgrounds. So it's a process in that we each have a place in our heart where these teachings really touch us, and we're trying to find that connection with the other individuals. Each person has a place in their heart where they're seeking joy and what they associate happiness with in their life, whether it's family, their service, the things that they do in creativity, music. It's all just a matter of finding that one glowing light within them that we can relate to. And the marketing is funny because it's kind of taking a step back from the personal. So I've got this kind of balance going right now where it's like I'm trying to speak to one-on-one when I do writing online, but I'm also trying to create these like kind of massive marketing campaigns that could be relatable by a lot of people. And so with that, there's kind of this balancing act where I'm learning a lot about how to integrate what I learn through marketing research, but also with our own vibration and how we as a group, we as Ananda want to share. And I think that that might be kind of a theme of this weekend, is really learning about when we do go out into the world, how we want to represent Master, how we want to represent the teachings, how we want to represent Ananda, which is this amazing movement that's about to just transform. I did want to say that I do want to get into more detail with anyone who is interested in learning more about marketing online. There's a plethora of new areas of growth that we're working now with Sanjan for an online with Ananda, using these live broadcasts where people can kind of jump in on video. It's Google Hangout if you don't already know. Using new social media sites like Pinterest and things that are just booming with the ability to connect globally, just like never before. So if anyone does want to contact me, I'd like to be able to get in touch with you. And also that there is going to be an online leadership training course on online marketing and social media. That's on October 26th, so you can always tune into that. And then the other thing that I needed to talk about, which I was asked to talk about, was the online blog that it's a blog / website for this young kind of generation, new wave, Ananda for the future. And it's actually, you can find it online at anandaforthefuture.org. And it has kind of the basics, but really the most important thing about it is it's a place where we can start to have conversations with each other about the kind of outreach opportunities that we want to get involved with. So right now, for example, we have the movie, and there's going to be a lot of people going out to campuses, possibly across the nation, and maybe even for those of you in Europe, across the continent. And so it would be a really great place to go where we don't have to kind of go through the email processes with each other constantly. Instead, we just can go on to this kind of forum where we can post to each other back and forth and say, you know, this is what's happening. These are the upcoming events. These are the people going on outreach opportunities. Here's things to get involved with. And also it has the ability to kind of give each other resources. So if we kind of stumble upon something within Ananda that we just found to be a jewel, and we want each other to get to have that resource, then they can jump to a page that's just called resources. And then there's also a page called Meet the New Wave. And there you can kind of find each other. So if you want to stalk each other, like get to know each other, it's the closest we've come to Sundara's online dating services for Ananda devotees. I'm just joking. But anyway, you can find each other there. So if you do want to get in touch with someone who's far away, you can find their Skype name, add them. You can email them. It's not going to be as difficult. And also, it's going to put faces to everybody. You know, we have family in India in a community called Pune. I don't know if any of you have like visually seen any of those people, but well, we have Shamini, but she's there. I see her. But you can kind of you get to know people more personally, which is what we're trying to balance. Because with this growth of online, like the ability to spread the youth north, south, east, and west through the field of energy, like we have to still maintain that personal touch. So I think starting by doing that with each other will really help us be able to do that with the world. Thank you.
So good evening, everyone, and welcome also. I just want to say what a privilege it is to all be here together and to share this evening and this weekend and leading up to Spiritual Renewal Week. What a great opportunity we have together just to share in satsang and in service and what we're connecting about, even in just this brief overview that we have. My name is Badri, and I live here at the village for about the past 4 years. I've done a number of things in the community, and they've prepared me, I think, in a lot of ways for what I want to talk just briefly about this evening, which is really the community aspect of Ananda, which I think is obviously central to everything that we're talking about on our path of service, of meditation, of devotion, because it really ties it all together. And it was obviously something that was so dear to Swami's heart and to Master when he spoke, like Kalamali just alluded to at that conference, or that garden party, rather, in Beverly Hills in 1949. And what I think we're all living here is that vision, and that's really our mission in turn, is to share that with other people. And the new role that I have, it's a job being created here at Ananda. I'm still figuring out what it is, but is creating some internship programs. And this is very typical of Ananda, don't worry. You get a job and you don't have a description, so you figure it out. What it is, though, there are a few components of it that we're starting to kind of hash out, and I won't bore you with the details, but just real briefly, it's an internship program that allows people to come here to the village and potentially to other communities as well, in response to the Finding Happiness film, or other people who want to come and experience what Ananda has to offer. If you think about it, there really is nothing else like Ananda in the world on so many different levels. And so, again, it's our mission to really, and our opportunity to serve that and to share that with other people. And so the internship program will take place here starting next summer, and we'll run it out of the Expanding Light. But what we're actually going to do is create a new entity called the Ananda Institute for Cooperative Living, or Cooperative Spiritual Living. And we have plans to actually build this entity and have some structures over near the Expanding Light, near Lotus Lake, for those of you that know Ananda or you're here. And we'll be able to host and run internship programs out of there, starting in the spring and going into the summer of 2014, and then after that. And so, again, it's not limited to Ananda Village, but it's an opportunity for all of us, again, to share community, which, again, ties in all the different aspects of Ananda and where we can reach out from. And really what we're doing here is fostering community. And it's just a privilege to be able to do that. You know, I was reading an interview with Swami Kriyananda today, a transcript, and he was talking about his book, Hope for a Better World, which is on the subject of communities. And he was saying how if there's any book or any message that really has the power to touch people's hearts in the world, of all of his books, he actually said it's that one. And he probably says that of all of his books, if you know Swami. But I think in some ways it's true. Is community a water glass? See it? That's community right there. But you know, I think that was really was Swami's mission when Master spoke at that garden party. Swami said, I don't think anybody else got that message but me. And Swami was really a messenger from God, I think, to bring communities and so much more to the world. But he said, again, in that book, Hope for a Better World, this is the answer to the problems of the world today. And we're all a part of that. And so, again, in turn, it's our opportunity and really our blessing to share that. Master said the channel is blessed by what flows through it. And we are all those channels. It doesn't matter if we do our outreach through the music, through the web, through our families, our friends, our service in different areas, in business and in agriculture. They're all opportunities to be a channel and to serve. And we're creating community everywhere we go, with our friends, with our spiritual community, our family, and around the world. I mean, you think about what we have with the technology, the web today, and with all of each other. I mean, this is really, as Sanjan said, this isn't kind of an experimental weekend, but the underlying energy of what we're doing here is really, it's right. It's really, there's something really powerful to it, because we are the new wave. We're still working with that name, but I surf. I'm a surfer, and there aren't really any new waves. There's just waves. But if you think about it, there is a wave of energy happening here. And having connected with a lot of the older and more experienced members of Ananda who have really built this community from nothing over the last several decades, almost 50 years, they've said they had to work so hard to lay this foundation so that we can bring Ananda to the world and really bring the world to Ananda. So I think with this internship program, with all of these ways and many more actually that we're talking about and that we're really creatively brainstorming together this weekend, we'll be able to do that. And actually what I want to just close with, if we can all just close our eyes for a moment, sit up straight, and just real briefly in the middle of our panel here, focus at the point between the eyebrows, and let's just feel what a tremendous blessing this is to live in a community, to be on this path, whether we're here presently or viewing remotely or recorded. This is always with us, and it's just those blessings increase 1,000-fold when we share it with others. So may we all be blessed in our service together. Thank you.
Well, hello, I'm Kali Das. I'm always amazed in Sunday service and places where the ministers speak, that often they'll come up on stage and they'll say, "Good evening, everyone. It's such a great joy to be here." I'm always so amazed by that, because for me, it's always a struggle between joy and absolute terror. Like, when you get in front of people, if you're not totally liberated, whatever's left of your ego is going to really shake you up. And it's going to, how do you keep your energy in the higher chakras when you're feeling nervous? Your blood and your whole system is disturbed. So the reason I bring that up is not, I'm actually way less nervous than I thought I would be, but we're starting something to really help us work with this. And it's called the Joy Masters Ananda Speaking Group. And we're going to be meeting once a month, and we're going to just basically deal with this. We're going to support each other. It's not a critic thing. It's not a contest. It's just a way to really support each other in, how are we going to do this? How are we going to work with these nervous systems that we haven't mastered yet? Because when we get up in front of people, I hope I'm not alone. You feel energy that you aren't really used to, and it's really important to work with that. So we're going to support each other in working with that and sharing the teachings. And in the process, I really have a feeling that we're going to understand the teachings more. Because Swamiji said for us to go and share the message of Ananda, of community, of spiritual life, of education for life, of all these different ways of relating to this world in a higher vibration. But why did he say that? I've been thinking about it a lot, and I don't really feel like it's 100% because Swami wants Ananda to spread all over the world and just be this amazing movement, though that's inevitable because this is a higher way of life and people are desperately thirsty for it. But I think that he's telling us to do that because Swamiji wants us to grow. He wants us to work with this. He wants us to understand the teachings more. And really, my experience of outreach so far has been sharing healing prayer classes with guests at the Expanding Light. And man, that, you rub your hands together and you send out the ohms after meditation. But in my time teaching these classes, I've just felt so much of a greater appreciation and understanding and ability to actually practice. And there it is, like Swamiji says, go and share this message. But his hidden motive is really, this is what will bring you closer to God. Because Swami really did say at the end of one of his books that nothing he did was really important. The only thing that's really important is if those people that he has helped to grow in their love for God. So when we share the message of this beautiful path, and when we share just so many different directions you can go with it that Swamiji has opened up for us, you really can keep that in mind, that this is your path to God. This isn't a movement that's going to, shake the world and we're the soldiers, let's do it, It's our path. This is what we're supposed to do. We allow the blessing of Master and Swamiji to flow through us when we speak to people, when we share with people these teachings. And in that, we are purified. And really, I think that's the most important thing to keep in mind when we do outreach, when we share these teachings, is this is something that I'm doing in order to purify my own consciousness. And as we do that more and more, others are purified just by our mere presence. We don't need to really become super good speakers or super good, well, we do need to become super good meditators. But anyways, I'd like to just share a story that relates to this. I work off the property, and there's someone who works there who I saw recently, and I've seen this person at Ananda here and there, and I looked in this person's eyes, and that morning, I'd seen her a bunch of times, but I said, wow, there's a lot of light coming from that person. And then later on, a few hours later, I heard her mention to some people that she had just taken discipleship as a disciple of Yogananda. And I just understood right then. I was like, that was Master I saw. And we all have this. Everybody who is a disciple of Master, they have a light to share. And people see that when you go and talk to them. You see it in your sincerity. They see it in your strong desire to actually share what you yourself have discovered through these teachings. So I just wanted to bring that up in that we have something to share, and don't ever doubt it, because we're here, and who else is going to do it?
Hi, my name is Melody, and it is wonderful to see all of these young people here. I remember when I first came, it was like only Rose and Sanjaya, so thanks for coming. I was reminded when I saw Badri drink the water of this one time after Swami had given this beautiful talk just a few years ago, I think. He left, he leaves, everybody ends blessing him, and then there's this water up there, and I'm like, they're just going to leave that amazing water up there? So I remember going up with Kalidas and maybe one of the other young folks, and we just chugged it. It was so good. I think it's the perfect image of what we have to do on this path. So I've been here for the past 7 years, and one of the ways that I've enjoyed serving within the community is teaching yoga and meditation at the Expanding Light, which is our yoga retreat center. And I've had the privilege of working with many of the sort of old timers, people who've been here for many years, who have a lot of experience with working with beginners, guests, people who are new to our path. And I think the most amazing thing that I've seen that they've mastered is the art of really bringing these beautiful, high spiritual teachings down to a practical level where any day-to-day person could experience them. Because the truth is, these teachings of Yogananda are universal. Anyone can benefit from them, even if it's just learning a new affirmation or learning the healing prayer techniques. What I've seen these longtime teachers have been able to do is they present the teachings in such a way that they're non-sectarian and non-religious. And one of the main ways that we have a fantastic outreach at the Expanding Light is through the Ananda Yoga teacher training program that I've been lucky to have been a part of, to be helping teach the past 5 years. And I think this is amazing outreach because it reaches people all around the world of all different ages, backgrounds, belief systems. In the last group that we had that just ended on Sunday, the youngest girl was 16 years old and the oldest woman was 65. So it's really neat, a variety of people that come, and even though they all have a different path, everybody leaves the program uplifted, inspired. They have a hope for the better world, and they experience some part of the teachings that's unique to them, that inspires them, and then they go out as Ananda Yoga teachers and spread it. So it's pretty amazing to think about how many Ananda Yoga teachers are out there already spreading the light in that way. So it reaches a lot of age groups and belief systems. The neat thing about this program is that they get to experience the deep principles of our path of Masters and Swamiji's teachings for 28 days. So it's not just a little dabble in it. They really go deep in, affirmations, asanas, pranayama, meditation, chanting, and they even talk about like the yugas and those different kind of concepts that you can't always get into in a simple weekend program at the Expanding Light. So it's just really neat to see people come often with a closed heart to the village. They don't really know what they're getting into. They think they're just becoming a yoga teacher, and then by the end of it, they're transformed. And I think the most beautiful part of that program, which I know people in the room here have taken, is you see these people who were atheists at the beginning, and at the end, they're just bowing in gratitude to the altar, to the gurus. They've connected with spirit in their own way, and that's always, by the end of the hard-working month, I'm like, okay, it's worth it to see them, so open and beautiful in that way. Another way that I've been sharing the teachings is by leading weekend workshops at the Expanding Light. And I had to work up to get comfortable leading a program. It's like, these people are coming and they're going to see this young person, like, what is she doing leading the program? I thought it would go through my mind like every time the weekend was approaching, and I'd get nervous because I thought, I'm just too young to be sharing the teachings. Who's going to want to listen to her? But because I learned to study a lot, the teachings, that's something I'm good at, is really going deep in preparing myself. Then people were willing to listen to me. It's like, that's one thing I wanted to just mention, is because we are a little younger, it is important that we share the teachings in an intellectual, intelligent way that people are going to say, okay, this person actually knows something. And I've found that through the weekend programs, people are so appreciative of the young, youthful energy. This one time, Kalidas and I sort of apprenticed with Krishnadasa Mantra Devi for this last February. We did a couples Valentine's weekend retreat, and we had about 4 married couples in the group. We didn't expect them all to be married, but it was just ended up being like that. And at one of the couples, there was this big buff, like American guy, and his Argentinian wife. And the whole weekend he was kind of just closed off, and we weren't really sure what he's thinking, but his wife was all into the meditation and everything. And it kind of seemed like he was just there because she made him come. But at the end, we asked them to share as a group, how did you enjoy the program? Do you have any feedback? And this guy, buff dude, spoke up, and he was like, I'm so impressed by what you all have to offer here. I work with people every day, and I can really see through people if they're sincere, if they're just kind of faking it, and you guys are sincere. And he's just like, and I so appreciated having sort of the older married couple and the young couple, because he said, when you see the young people are really deep, then the spiritual path is true, that it makes sense, because it's the new people are getting it too. So anyway, I just see these programs growing more. I could use help myself in the programs that I lead, because it's usually just me. I have been having Kalidas teach the meditation section, and I'll do the asana section. So if people are interested in sort of doing a mini part of weekends, I know that many teachers at the Expanding Light would be happy to have you as sort of a tag-along partner who learns from them. That's what I had the privilege of being able to do, was work with others who've been doing it for so many years, and then the next time we taught the program, I had to teach more, and then the last time we did it, it was just me. So it's kind of like they realize that we need that help, those steps to make it on our own. So anyway, we have a lot of fun to do, so blessings.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian. I live in Ananda, and I'm going to speak a little bit about video. First, I want to touch on something Kalidas said about the nervousness. I really felt what you were saying. I couldn't hear it because my heart was beating so hard at the possibility of speaking, but I really felt it, so it was really nice. I actually studied film. I'm one of the few people in Ananda who studied the thing that they do. This is a logical, professional choice for me, in that it was a complete accident. Basically, I left film school swearing I would never, ever work in film or video or media. And a few months later, I met Swami, and just be careful what you wish for, because it will find you. The thing that changed for me about video was the reason I used to not like it was that it seemed superficial. It's very two-dimensional, literally first, but then also it felt that way energetically. And I didn't realize at the time, I didn't have a context to understand why I didn't like it. I had grown up at Ananda, but I didn't have the teachings and practice in the daily life, in everything that I did. And so I didn't understand why I didn't find any depth in it. I was like, oh, Die Hard 6 is coming out. I guess I could work on that. No. So basically, I left the country. I skipped out and ended up in India. And when I met Swami, I was surprised that one of the first thing that I had any context of knowing him in, other than all the years growing up, but I'd never really met him, was that he wanted to do a TV show. So I was like, well, that's kind of odd. I thought he was a spiritual teacher, et cetera, and like, who's going to watch it on TV? Turns out millions of people. More people in India have been exposed to Swami through the TV shows on Asta than probably in any other way. And it has been amazing to see people came up to him on the street and would say, oh, I saw you on TV. I watch you every night. I watch you. And that thought, coming from a background of making money, first of all, and of basically reckless consumerism in film world. I basically left because they told me I'd have to work on projects I hated for 5 years before I could work on anything I remotely enjoyed. And that I didn't even like video, so I was out. And when I met Swami, I was like, wait a second. There is a way that this can be transmuted for a higher purpose. And that's true for every single thing that we do at Ananda. It's all, in a sense, in the world. We're in the world. We have to be in some way participating, but we don't have to be of it. And that's what I found in video is the first thing I've ever been passionate about in my entire life, and this was a problem when picking my major. I picked film because I had made a fun video in high school and thought, I could do that for the rest of my life. So the first thing that I actually found myself really excited about was video, but in this context, with spirit behind it. And what I realized is it wasn't the video at all. It was the spirit. It was Swami. It was Master flowing through. And in that sense, for a while I thought I would drop it right after Swami left the body. I thought I'd be like completely done with video like that because the video itself didn't excite me. But when he left, all I could feel was more ideas for video. And it was all coming to me in this very powerful intuition that really I hadn't felt before. And I started to realize that we have to bring whatever skill it is that we have already in ourselves, even if it's not one we know we have, we have to bring that in service of God, in service to God and Guru, because that's the best we can do. Anyone who feels attracted to anything should try that because that's intuition speaking. But in my case, that's going to manifest through video. And I wanted to speak a little bit about where I see the future of video and media for Ananda and also the world. We are the YouTube generation. We're the ones who made news articles, which actually annoys me pretty badly, show you a video instead of the news. You click on a link, oh, that sounds like an interesting article, just a video. But it's because that's the way we consume information. We're an entirely new kind of soul, and it's no coincidence that we put up here. We incarnated at a time in Dwapara Yuga where this is the mode of spreading energy, of spreading truth in our case, and really in the future, that will be the way that truth is disseminated. I wanted to go into a few specifics. I don't want to take up all the time. But in concentrating on the different areas of Ananda and what we have to share, I'd like to, one of the goals I have personally, and by personally I mean impersonally, because anyone can do this and help, and I really am actually making an appeal to Ananda as a whole. Anyone who finds this at all, even a little bit interesting, I will come to your house, I will come to your place of work, and I will show you how to do this. Because it's so much more than any small number of people are capable of. We're going to have to expand in everything. And unfortunately, that's true for every single person who's talked today. They all can use 1,000 people. So I'm looking mostly at you guys in the camera. You guys are going to have to step up. I'm sorry. But I'll come to you. Seattle, India, Italy, wherever you are, not LA. That's just an awful place. I want to see subtitles in every language in the world on every Swami video ever. That's a longer term project, but really when I travel, I get to travel a lot. I was very blessed to be able to travel with Swamiji for the last 4 years of his life. And I met all these amazing people, and especially in Europe, because they have so many languages in such a small space, I started to really understand the need for reaching these people. And we're never going to be able to fill Swami's shoes. The truth that he spoke was so pure and completely accessible that we need to give people access to that, first of all. The second part of that is we also need to give it to them ourselves. We need to be channels for that truth, and the best way to reach people in a global context is through the internet. And a very good way to do that through the internet is through video. A lot of people's first interaction with Ananda will be through video from now on, and it has been even already. But the future is much more of that. And we need to make sure, especially with Finding Happiness coming, we need to make sure that we have the ability to receive and to point people in the directions that they feel. We need to run the gambit between New York Stock Exchange workers who are like a little bit dissatisfied with their life and not quite sure why they're not finding what they were looking for this whole time in the industry that they have studied all their lives and their parents did and their parents' did it. Why is this not working? The thing about Dwapara Yuga is these souls are going to be incarnating more and more. They already have. They're out there waiting for us. We are disciples of the avatar for this age. We have a huge responsibility. And it's a wonderful responsibility, but it's really big. We have to give the people who are searching a place to find that. And we need to bring it to them. And that's where I see video. We can put it inside their house, inside their room, on their computer, and we can get it to them. I don't want to say easily, but if we create it, it's like Field of Dreams. If we build it, they will come. But we need to build a lot of it. We need to be able to hit the worldly types all the way to the spiritual people who've already found a path but aren't sure it's theirs. We need to aim for the people who will benefit from our teaching but won't necessarily be disciples of our guru. This is Yogananda for the world. This teaching did not come for a select few, did not come just for the people who are lucky enough to live in communities. It came for everybody. And that's where I see video coming in a really big way. I'd like to close by saying I feel really blessed. I always felt that my time with Swamiji would be the greatest blessing of my life, and that I would have to sort of work that blessing off for the rest of it. And in a way that's true, but what I've realized since his passing is that this is the part that will be the greatest blessing. Sharing that teaching will be the blessing. Sharing the time that I feel very blessed to have been with Swami in the flesh and gotten to hear him speak and say so many things. But sharing that with the world is going to be the blessing. And the great thing about that is we all get to share that together.
Hello, everyone. My name is Indra, and what I currently do here at Ananda Village is help to manage Ananda Web Services, and also have created a dairy with another partner, and we manage that as well. So part of what I wanted to talk to you all about was businesses, creating businesses at Ananda, but I think one of the most inspiring things about hearing everybody talk was how they said, this is what I do, but then when they got it talking about this is what I really do, it was the passion of living at Ananda. It was a passion of creating community together, sharing water glasses, and just the passion of this lifestyle and the impact that it can have for people throughout the world. A big part of a lot of people, when they come to Ananda in the beginning, it's easy to move into the village or come to the village and see this huge organization, even going to any of the colonies, and see how big they are, how established they are. And it's really easy to see, where do I fit in this big work? You know, what's my role? And I think we've been having meetings like this, the New Wave Foundation, what we're now calling Ananda for the Future, for years and years and years. And each time we had these meetings, we were always asking ourselves, how can we serve? How can we fit into this bigger picture that is Ananda? And that's consistently what we were asking. And even now, that's what we're asking. And what is Ananda for the Future? Well, I have no idea, actually. But that's part of what we're all here to create and to figure out. It's not something that we're saying, okay, this is what it is, now all of you fit inside of it. We're saying, this is the opportunity that's been presented to us. This is the group of people, the amazing group of people that have come together to try to take Ananda to the next step. And when I say Ananda, it's not a specific group of people in a specific location. Ananda, as Swami Kriyananda has said, is an ideal. And that ideal is as much a part of who we are if we're in this physical location or if we're not, or if we identify with this group of people. Before I moved to Ananda, I think I consider myself now an Ananda person because I didn't know about the physical place, but I embodied the teachings. I knew that this reality was something that I wanted to live on a day-to-day basis. And those people are out there in the millions. They don't know that they're a part of Ananda yet. They don't know that these ideals are what they're looking for. And what every single person who was talking about was saying is, we need to present these ideals to them and help them recognize this is what they're looking for. And that's not to say, let's point them all back to Ananda Village, but as Rose was saying earlier, as we share, we're blessed. And each time that we have the ability to share, it's going to exponentially grow. And I mean, even just seeing how many people are in this room now, it's like Melody was saying when I first got here too, there was Melody, Sanjan, and Rose. So it's just exponentially growing. And each year there's just more and more, and we're getting in bigger and bigger spaces. And it's just so inspiring to see. And this is just the beginning. And each one of us has a part to play, I think, is the important part. We are here talking about some inspiring things that we're doing, but more importantly is, and equally importantly, is all the things that each one of you are doing. And I think what Ananda for the Future is the platform that we can share what we're doing, that we can communicate what we're doing, that we can work together. Because really, with the more energy that we build, the more magnetism, the more we have the ability to attract thousands and millions of youths, north, south, east, and west. So I think what we'll be doing this weekend, and it's exciting that there's such a big group of people here, is exploring this idea of how we can connect more and more and share these teachings more and more. And so this is really just the beginning, and I'm excited to see what happens this weekend and some of the outcomes of what we have. So thank you all again for coming. And let's just end with a prayer. We lost Kate, but we'll move on without her, I guess. So just for a moment, let's visualize all of us in this room and all of those online throughout the world, in Italy, in India, throughout the United States. Just seeing a thread connecting each one of our hearts, going out from here, connecting to all those who are a part of this path, they know it or not. Let's pray together. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswar, beloved Guru, Paramahansa Yogananda, we lovingly bow to you all. Divine Mother, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. Om. Peace. Amen. And just a reminder that our next group activity that we'll be doing is a meditation here tomorrow morning at 6:30, and Jyotish and Devi will be leading that. We'll also be live broadcasting it, so make sure you sit straight when you're meditating and do your kriyas right and all that kind of stuff. Thank you, everybody.